CoinFlip is the leading Bitcoin ATM operator with over 850 locations. Find your nearest ATM on coinflip.tech. Lowest fees guaranteed. Use the discount code FUNKY for 5% off the fees.
ShopCryptoKeys.com offers the best way to back up your password to your Bitcoin wallet. Sometimes on your cold storage wallet, they give you 12 seed words or 24 seed words. Don't write it on a piece of paper. What happens if there's fire? This thing, fireproof. If you're holding a significant amount of your net worth in crypto, I definitely recommend you get one of these. I use it. You should too.
What's up, everyone? This is Ben Askren. Welcome to the Funky Crypto Podcast. John and I created this show to simplify the complex matter of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies so it can be easily understood and digested by the masses. We want the regular people to see Bitcoin and crypto from our perspective and why it's so necessary for it to exist. Let's get to the show.
Yo, John Kim here. I got some great people today. I got my boy Funky, Ben Askren, who is so tough in a fight, was kind of shook during this crash. So I can't understand his mindset. Let me bring my boy in real quick.
John, how do you not understand my mindset? I mean, we lost a lot of money. Really fast. I think you lost more than I did, but I lost a lot of money. You
didn't lose. You didn't sell. You didn't lose.
I did not sell.
Price is going up and down. But Ben, whenever you fight, I hear all these stories how right before a championship fight, you're just chilling in there, not even worried.
Yeah.
But yet the Bitcoin kind of shook you this week, right?
Man, for that was the first one that had me a little bit nervous. I've been through a whole bunch of dips before, and this one was like especially harsh. I thought we were headed towards the cliff, ended the cliff, and we fell off. And luckily, I had you and Jason. Jason's gonna talk me off the ledge too. All
right, let's bring on Jason, who saved Ben Askren from suicide.
From irresponsibly long.
Jason? Yeah, it wasn't suicide. What's up, guys? What's going on?
Oh man, thanks to Jason. We lean on you when things are hard. And you tell us to have diamond nuts, and you earn these diamonds nuts, right? Is that what you say?
That's it. Yeah, look, we've faced some real obstacles recently with the Elon Musk, Dogecoin, energy FUD, China banning mining, and
again.
Yeah, look, as we overcome these situations, Bitcoin becomes stronger. And I think the work that Michael Saylor did, bringing a group of miners together to have a roundtable with Elon, was kind of cool. I know he's catching some heat right now, but hopefully we'll discuss that today as well.
Yeah. All right. So our guest today,
looking pretty, boys,
is an OG in this game, right? Bobby Lee. He's the brother of Satoshi Light, Charlie Lee. I think he started the first legit exchange in China, Bitcoin
Mount
exchange,
Gox?
Right? Yeah, no, not Mt. Gox. Come on, Ben. Come on,
That's
Ben.
Japan. That was Japan.
Yeah. So let me bring in the OG Bobby Lee, who wrote a book and is competing against Going Parabolic's Bitcoin Hard Money You Can't F With. Let's see. I want to bring him in. Welcome, Mr. Bobby C. Lee. What's up, brother?
Hello, everyone. How you guys doing? Good to be here.
Welcome, man. You're an OG in this space, man. Could you tell our audience your background in Bitcoin and how you came in real quick?
Yeah, so I started 10 years ago. This is my 10-year anniversary. I made it 10 years down the Bitcoin rabbit hole.
Wow.
Started mining in 2011, got some graphics cards, set up a 4-card machine, sort of built my own motherboard PC, ran Linux. So that was the summer of 2011. Bitcoin was like $10, $20 and forgot what. And I left it on for a few months and mined like 20-some Bitcoins that summer. And then I got into full-time, of course, in 2013, started BTC China, co-founder and was CEO. It was China's very first Bitcoin exchange. We ran it, and at one point, we were the world's largest by trading volume. At one point, we're the world's longest running after Mt. Gox went down. So, and then I sold the company in 2018. So in that time, 5 years I ran it, we had an exchange. We had a mining pool called BTCC Pool. We had a custodial wallet called Mobi. And we also made physical Bitcoins called BTCC Mint. These are like custodial, like physical Bitcoins. So I sold the company in 2018, took a year off. And then, of course, those were the winter years, right? 2018, 2019. I decided to start a new company called Ballet, and we make physical wallets, non-custodial, unhosted wallets. These are wallets where people can just store Bitcoin on them. And it's very easy to use. You could use it with the coin flip ATMs. You could go down the street, bring a wallet, just scan it in the ATM, and you can deposit Bitcoin on them. And over the last 3 years, I started a book project, also started in 2018, writing it. At the time, we didn't have a title. My publisher, helped me pick the title. It's called The Promise of Bitcoin, The Future of Money and How You Can Work for You. Yeah. So hope you guys all read it, enjoy it. Let me know how you like it. Write reviews on Amazon. It's really focused for new users. So all the newbies out there who want to learn about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, I think this is the go-to book.
Nice.
All right. Hey, Jason, what do you think about another competition down your way with your Bitcoin hard money you can't F with? What do you think about that, Mr. Best-selling author?
Yeah, I think writing a book is hard. So I commend Bobby for, it sounds like your second book?
It's my first book.
Your first book. So first of all, congratulations. How long did
Thank you.
How long did it take?
It took way longer. I thought we were going to get done in 2019. Started in 18. And then, of course, pandemic year. Actually, that gave me more time to finish all the chapters. So I finally got done with all the chapters late last year. And then the editing process and all that took a few more months. So it was just published last week. Yeah. So it's been almost 2.5 year effort. 3 years.
That's really great. I look forward to reading it. I definitely will check it out.
Yeah, I love the more books in the space because you never know what's going to make something click with someone, right? You could read 4 or 5, and then all of a sudden the 6th one, boom, it clicks. So I love having more and more books to recommend to people to read when they get in the space because I think like you guys and Jason, this is probably why I didn't jump off the cliff last week when I was like, golly, I'm losing so much effing money. This is so stupid. It's because I understand what's behind Bitcoin, and I have a certain amount of belief in it. And if it was only number go up for me, then I probably would have sold at least some of it for sure.
Yeah, Bobby, speaking of like why Ben was pushed to his limit in Bitcoin last week, what do you think about the China mining situation?
Yeah. It's I have several comments on that. People usually, first of all, this is before the regular crackdown in the recent week. They always complain that, Bitcoin is too centralized. All the mining is in China, blah, 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 uses fossil fuel, blah, blah, blah. And I think those are all misunderstandings. First of all, if I told you Bitcoin mining was controlled by men because 98% of Bitcoin mining is done by men.
Sexist.
Does it mean that does it make it a sexist comment? Does it mean that women are cornered out of the market? Does it mean that women are not allowed to play in Bitcoin? So certainly that's not true. Even if the number of men mining Bitcoin is a high amount, I don't care if it's 98% or 51%, it doesn't preclude women from getting into Bitcoin mining. Because remember, Bitcoin is permissionless. Same thing. Even if the world's Bitcoin mining, 60% is done in China, it doesn't preclude anything. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean you have to be Chinese to play with Bitcoin. It doesn't mean that China, the country, has control over Bitcoin. It doesn't. Just like the population of men out there don't control Bitcoin in any significant way, in the way the mining works, right? It's all permissionless, right? So anyone can, like, if you're in Africa, if you're in Europe, if you're in the United States or Canada, you can set up mining machines. You can buy and make as many mining machines as you want, bring up the hash power, and just more hash power, the merrier. So that's one misunderstanding about Bitcoin mining and the control by China. And by the way, the recent crackdown, they're going to apparently make it illegal to mine Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in China. While the country always has the right to do that. Every country has a right to set their laws. If the laws want to say, hey, no driving or no mining, and so be it, right? Then what's going to happen is those mining machines will most likely get exported and go to other countries and mine in other countries. So remember, Bitcoin will not die because of that, right? This will be a stress test of Bitcoin in the sense that we're going to find out for sure whether Bitcoin is truly decentralized and truly not controlled by one country, not controlled by one organization. If China stamps out the mining, then it'll prove that Bitcoin is fully decentralized. So if anything, it's a great experiment for the long-term benefit of Bitcoin.
So if you don't feel comfortable answering, sorry, Jason, if you don't feel comfortable answering this, don't answer it. But is this one of those laws in China where they say, hey, this is illegal, and then the cops come up, and then you just got to give them a few extra bills, and then they go away, and they say, "Okay, we're all good now." Is it one of
You get
those?
some Dogecoin. I don't know. I don't know. It just came out. The province of Inner Mongolia just recently announced more concrete rules about mining. They've essentially, if I pull up my notes, made Bitcoin illegal. Basically, they're not allowed to provide electricity for Bitcoin mining. There's no preferential policies are provided, no ISP support. Internet cafes cannot participate in minings. It is not allowed to build power infrastructure without permission. Power infrastructure meaning these base stations and these high voltage cables and stuff like that. It is not allowed to use cryptocurrency for money laundering, which has always been the case. It is not allowed to use cryptocurrency to raise funds illegally. This is like the ICO type of stuff. And then government officials are not allowed to participate in providing convenience to help mining. So Inner Mongolia Department of Reform Commission has drafted these measures to combat cryptocurrency mining. So it looks like it's happening for real in Inner Mongolia.
Wow.
Another place that's happening for real is Sichuan. Sichuan has a lot of mining historically. We don't know when and if they will issue more guidance. But remember, this time it came up from the state council. So state council is the highest, pecking order, sort of the highest regulatory commission at the top of the pecking order of the government. So this guy Liu He, he's famous. He's the guy who met with the Secretary of State in Alaska. You guys remember that meeting?
Oh,
remember this is like the start of the Biden administration.
yeah.
China and the U.S. agreed to meet in Alaska, so they were
talking trash. What did they say?
Yeah, they were talking trash. Yeah, they were talking trash. Yeah. So he's tough. So he's going to come out. And funny thing is, I think it was just yesterday. He basically the state council made like two very short statements, like 2 lines. It's like, we're against mining, we're against cryptocurrency, and the whole market like got scared because it came from the state council, it came from this guy. So we'll see. I think it's a short term. Everything has good side and bad side, right? Like it sounds like bad news, which is why prices drop. Hey, but what's the flip side? The flip side is people like you, me, people like people who want to get into Bitcoin. It's like, hey, Bitcoin is on sale. It's discount time. You can get Bitcoin for 30% off. It's like it's great. In celebration of my book, we have a 30% discount on all Bitcoin purchases.
I love it. Ben, I'm sorry I almost interrupted you. Bobby, one other point, because I think there were layers to Ben's anxiety. So one of them was the China ban on mining, but it seemed to happen or coincide with this concern about energy use in mining and the non-renewables that are being used maybe in China, where a lot of coal-fired plants may be behind some of the mining. So do you think that had something to do with the decision that China had made was around renewables and energy?
Yeah, I hear your question. They they did some research. Earlier this year they looked into is mining. So China has made a climate what do you call it? Pledge, climate change pledge, right, to the international. I don't know what it was, a Paris Accord or whatever convention. They have pledged to be carbon neutral by I forgot what year, mid-century. But here's the deal: electricity is amorphous. It's basically if I take a kilowatt of electricity stored in the battery, I have no idea where it came from. You could say it came from solar, it could came from renewable, it could came from fossil fuel, coal plants. It really, by looking at the energy itself, you don't know where it came from. Okay, it's like gold. You don't know if you have a piece of gold, you don't know where it came from. The mine in South Africa versus Canada versus China. You don't know where the gold came from just by inspecting it. So you have to trace the supply. You have to trace the power cables and all that stuff. But you have power cables running everywhere, the electrical grid. So if you have a television here, sitting here and a mining machine next to it, and they're both consuming electricity, you just don't know. You can't say, oh, the television is getting the green energy, the mining is getting the cold energy. It's just, it doesn't work that way, right? All the grid is connected, right? That's why it's real. Like the way to fight climate change in terms of the dirty energy is to shut down the coal plants. Right? If you shut down the coal plants and you shut down all the dirty energy, then 100% of your energy will be clean, right? Going after mining is no better than going after Christmas lights. It's no better than going after refrigeration, right? Going after air conditioning. Why don't you just live in a hot country? Let's turn off all air conditioning because it's bad for the environment. I grew up in Africa.
That's a great point. My buddy Pop raised the same the same point. Like if you're going to moralize power, then, let's shut off Christmas lights. They consume more power than some countries, but thanks for the question.
Yeah. So the issue comes down to how it's like moralizing. It's like you either have a free capital market, say, hey, if I have money, if I want to turn on the air conditioning, really chilly room, I should have the right to do so as long as I pay for the energy. And the way to solve it is you close off all the coal power plants and you only have clean energy. And if I pay more for it, then I pay more for it. Right. So be it. Like, I can run solar panels on my house and stuff like that. Look, if I ran solar panels, can I do mining? That should be allowed. Right. But in any case, so back to the China thing, I don't think the issue is with clean energy versus dirty energy. It's just as people know already, in China, a lot of the mining happens in these pockets of area where they have excess hydropower. I visited these farms. These are farms located next to these rivers and dams where they have hydropower, and there's just too much excess energy. There's no grid to bring the extra power out, so they just put the mining machines next to it. So all the excess electricity goes to the mining machines. So that's renewable. It's hydropower. There's no environmental hit on that, right?
It's almost better than renewable, right, Bobby? Because it's something that would be essentially wasted without.
Exactly.
Renewable energy.
Exactly. And don't forget, they're so remote, these places, they don't even have internet connections. They connect to the network via 3G, 4G, cellular. That's how they do the mining blocks, right? It's so out there in the remote areas, right? So well, if they want to shut it down, they shut it down. Yeah.
But Bobby, let me ask you a question. My little conspiracy theory hat on, okay? This FUD seems so coordinated, from Elon Musk to Chinese. It seems so coordinated.
The launch of my book. It's to give the sale price of Bitcoin for my book launch.
So what are your thoughts on, if you were to speculate, is this a one big coming together, working together to bring the Bitcoin price down, because they can't stop it from going to all-time high again this year?
Yeah. So let me tell you about that. So Elon Musk, I don't think he's in cahoots with the Chinese authorities. I think he just did his thing, Saturday Night Live, whatever. He just trashed Bitcoin and pulled back on Tesla accepting Bitcoin for car payments. That's fine. I think the China stuff was coordinated in the sense that basically China always wants to crack down on crypto during a bull market run. There's been repeated patterns. It happened in 2013. It happened multiple times in 2017. I just gave a talk on a Consensus conference this morning and talked about that. I showed slides of all the different regulatory announcements in 2017. So China always does these crackdowns. And I think what it finds is when the bull market is going very strong, these regulatory crackdowns don't work effectively. But what they do is, if the bull market is taking a hit, is taking a pullback, like the Elon Musk pullback, then China, punches it. It's kind of hitting the guy when they're down, right? So that really did a double punch. Really helped pull the market down. Thank goodness I don't trade crypto. I don't do leverage trading, long short positions. I had some friends who had long positions open on leverage, and they lost everything.
Wow.
They cleared out, and I was like, wow, too bad. I told you not to do it, and they still did it. Right. So I don't think they're doing it for trading gains, but they do want to knock it down when it's down. So this is the 1-2 whammy. So that's why in the last week and a half, crypto has fallen 50%. In that sense, it's unprecedented, but this is by no means the end of the bull market. Remember, crypto bull markets don't end on a panic selling. They don't end on these regulatory announcements. Bull markets really end when they run out of steam. Okay. When people are worried it ends, that's not when it ends. It's when people can't believe it's ended. That's when it ends.
Wow.
So when it goes up, if Bitcoin price were to double in 1 or 2 days, and there just runs out of steam because there's no more new money coming in, that's when it ends. So we haven't seen that yet. Yeah, I think it's going to peak out over $200,000 this year. At least
because Bobby, I also tweeted September 5th, September 3rd, 2017, Litecoin hit all-time high. September 15th, China bans Bitcoin. Litecoin goes back to $30, and then we know what happened in 2017 right after that.
It went to 400, right? 300. Yeah.
So exactly. So these are some of the things that I tweet and let people know, because I got a frantic call from a guy, an ex-UFC fighter named Bunky, and he was just he was just crying.
Did we actually call?
He was crying and he said, "John, I don't know what to do. Hold me." And I said, "Ben, I won't hold you because you'll put me in a headlock and make me tap out. Call Jason. Jason's got the diamond nuts. He's gonna tell you what to do.
Oh, my nut.
I'm kidding.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I think I don't think we actually talked. I think we were texting, but you never know. It was relatively worrisome. But it seems like we're back, and it seems like everyone that I follow that's intelligent thinks like there is no way the bull market's over, bounce back quick, and then we're gonna keep moving up in a trajectory towards end of this year. Jason says next year. We'll see.
Yeah, it's not over. Just wait a few weeks when Bitcoin goes back to 40, 50, 60,000. And people are like, damn, I missed out. I should have bought Bitcoin when it's at $30,000.
So
because that's exactly how you think about it. Like, remember last year, not just as recent as last year, March, it went down to $3,000, $4,000, right? Who bought Bitcoin at $3,000 last year, right? It's like you forget, right? So it's normal. It's just par for the course. When the prices are down, people get worried, nerve-wracking, and you just got to have balls of steel. You got to have diamond hands, right?
100%. It's crazy because Ben Askren in 2020 bought Bitcoin at like $4,000, $5,000.
Yeah, I bought I bought everything March 14. It was
Yeah. Good for you.
But Ben, I don't understand. It's at 35K, and then you got shook this time. I don't understand why.
Listen, I've been through I was through the bear market. I went through the up and downs, never got nervous. This last week was just like, it was just such a volume of losses in like just a tiny little window. It sucked. Yeah. So I want to ask Bobby about something else though, which is kind of along the same lines. So I have a few friends who have been on Wall Street, and they still do not believe in Bitcoin or crypto.
That's great. Have them wait longer.
Because
those are the lemmings, right? When they come in, that's when you sell. Like when they come in, when they change their mind, then it's over. The bull market is over.
CoinFlip is the leading Bitcoin ATM operator with over 850 locations. Find your nearest ATM on coinflip.tech. Lowest fees guaranteed. Use the discount code FUNKY for 5% off the fees.
ShopCryptoKeys.com offers the best way to back up your password to your Bitcoin wallet. Sometimes on your cold storage wallet, they give you 12 seed words or 24 seed words. Don't write it on a piece of paper. What happens if there's fire? This thing, fireproof. If you're holding a significant amount of your net worth in crypto, I definitely recommend you get one of these. I use it. You should too.
One of the things that they're all very highly intelligent. But one of the things that one said to me last week is, and I know this to be true, is that, China and Russia, specifically the governments, they want to have power over the people. They want to have control. And, as we know, Bitcoin doesn't allow people to have control. Allows people to have more control over their own financial freedom. And so as China sees this becoming a bigger and bigger thing, are they we've seen a lot of Chinese crackdowns, but it hasn't really been any real thing. Is there going to be a real Chinese crackdown because Bitcoin essentially gives freedom? And, Charlie on this podcast told the story, your father exporting China on his body. Exporting gold on his body out of China. So what do you think is going to happen there?
So what was the question, about gold or about China?
No, it was about China. Yeah, China and Bitcoin. Are they really going to let their people have that much freedom?
Yeah, so here's the deal. People don't realize this. China is a capital-controlled society. So we're in the U.S. We're in a free country. So the U.S. dollar, you can trade it with euros, Canadian dollars, Mexican pesos. There's no limits on what you can do, okay? It's very free in that sense. Some countries like China, Korea, Vietnam, and many countries around the world have capital controls, which means that the government doesn't allow you to exchange a currency to the U.S. dollar or euro freely. So you have limits on the daily limits, yearly limits, even businesses have limits, okay? So China happens to be like that. And people who've never been to China doesn't know this, but if you lived in China, you know that foreigners can only exchange 50,000 US dollars into RMB currency on a yearly basis. And the local citizens can only exchange out $50,000 worth of foreign currency. So if they travel, they can only maximum $50,000 a year. And that's the official rules, right? There's always underground black market channels and stuff like that. So for a country like China, we opened our Bitcoin exchange, in 2011, BTC China, and we ran it for a good, 7 years before we had to sell the company. We should actually shut it down, and then we sold the remaining company. So the point is that it was all just an experiment. But what they realized was people were using it to move money, freely. So they don't like that, right? They don't like it. The reality is that money never left the country, but they somehow don't like it. So it's incompatible. It's like if you have a capital controlled country, you can't have 9 banks that follow the rules and then have one bank that doesn't follow the rules, right? It wouldn't work. So the exchanges are sort of no capital controls, right? That's why you have this problem. So that's why they have to crack down on exchanges. And they left mining open, right? They left mining around, and then they realized, wait a minute, the mining is really contributing to more excess sort of euphoria and all that stuff, all the attention and all that. Recently, I went to a mining conference in Chengdu. When was this? This was in April, okay? In mid-April, there was a huge mining conference in Chengdu in Sichuan province in China. And a lot of people mining. There's mining Bitcoin, mining crypto, altcoins, mining Filecoin, mining, all that stuff. So that contributes to the froth, right? So that's why I think they banned the mining this year. But the reality is until China moves away from a capital-controlled economy, until they move away from the capital-controlled currency, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency will always be under pressure in China. But again, nothing is permanent. So maybe 5 years, 10 years later, China will internationalize the renminbi and make it free floating, make it easy for people to trade in and out. And that's when cryptocurrency can come back to China.
Whew, that's a great unpacking. What do you guys, to each of you guys, what do you guys think of Michael Saylor, Elon Musk, and a couple of billionaires coming together? And some people say they're creating a mining cartel. Some people are saying this is good. I know Charlie Lee tweeted, I see this as an overall good thing. It will help defeat the energy FUD. Yes, this is kind of like a mining cartel, but the difference between this and OPEC is that Bitcoin mining is permissionless. Anyone, anywhere can mine Bitcoin without needing permission. So can I get your hot take real quick, Jason, on that? And then Bobby, and then Ben, please.
Yeah. So again, I think that Michael Saylor was doing a service for Bitcoin to bring Elon Musk to a roundtable discussion around mining and some of the questions he has. Because I expect that Elon Musk is focused on building his companies and he's interested in Bitcoin, but he's probably not invested at that level. So it probably was helpful to him to have this kind of communication. I think coming out of that meeting with a syndicate of miners that are then somehow representing the miners in Bitcoin, it's a little wonky. That's where the messaging, I think, could have been enhanced a little bit. There's nothing wrong with a meeting of the minds. I think some of the legacy participants in Bitcoin start to get a little agitated when a new leader is appointed for them. But that's just my take.
What's up, Bobby? What do you think?
So remember, it comes down to Bitcoin is permissionless. It doesn't matter what people do. If they get together, mine. If they get together mining pools, if they just mine individually, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the geography. Just like I said earlier, it doesn't matter what gender you are, if you're man or woman or whatever. So that's the beauty about Bitcoin. In the world, there's not too many things that are truly decentralized and permissionless. This is why it's such a new beast, right? That's why people don't understand it. People worry, oh, there's a cartel, right? It's not, because as Charlie mentioned in his tweet, it's permissionless. Anyone can set up. You can set up the other cartel, right? Or you could be a single person going against all of them if you have enough resources, right? It's all about the resources and what you want to commit to do the mining.
Right. How about you, Ben? Yeah. Good or bad?
I had a friend that was really angry about the centralization of the Bitcoin mining, and I don't think I know enough to answer the question. So maybe I can ask this question, and Jason or Bobby could. He's like, when there's someone with all that resources, all that power, what can they do to restrict other people from mining? And what it seems is that there's nothing. If there was something they could do to restrict other people from doing it, I could see the issue. But if they can't, then I don't see what the issue is.
Yeah, they could have done this. Michael Saylor could have done this 3 years ago or 2 years ago, 1 year ago, when China was still the peak mining country, right? And they could have easily done it then. They could do it now.
Okay. Yeah, look, this ESG discussion and energy FUD around Bitcoin is the headline today. Michael Saylor's trying to resolve it. Elon Musk raised the issue. I think it's a net positive for both of them to be participants in the Bitcoin ecosystem. I don't want to see them alienated. But right now Elon Musk is getting trolled about hair plugs, And I just want the same thing to
Hold
happen.
on. Jason, explain yourself, Jason, with this tweet. What is up with this tweet? You got to explain your stuff.
Yeah,
you're trolling hard.
No. Look. Elon Musk tweeted that the cryptocurrency bull run is over, and what's next? He said, get hair plugs, move to LA, start an online school, talk about something arcane like sleeping 8 hours is important, sell 8 hours of sleep merch is important, crash your rented G-Wagon into a ditch, tragic story. Now, when I read that tweet that Elon Musk deleted after I responded, Ratio, I was like, man, what is he talking about himself? Dude got hair plugs, moved to LA, started an online school, and crashed his McLaren into this is the most hilarious thing I've ever done. So I just put it in meme form.
Oh my God. You're so crazy, bro. You're so crazy. Another thing I wanted to talk about today was Taproot real quick, because Bobby is very knowledgeable on the Taproot. So nearly 97% of Bitcoin's hash rate is now signaling for Taproot. Guys, can you school us on what Taproot is in a very simple way?
I'm not actually familiar with this, but you guys can bring me up to speed.
Okay. How about you, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, these are like security upgrades. So it's adding some enhancements to Bitcoin mining protocol and Bitcoin's protocol that are a net benefit. It's taken a little while for it to get adopted because the miners have to approve it, but we should see it happen.
I don't know. So what's this controversy?
Yeah, is there any controversy for Taproot?
I don't think so. I think generally the ecosystem is behind it. Again, it adds some security features and anonymity features that the network feels are important. But most of us are waiting for something called the ossification of Bitcoin. And I believe as a bone becomes hard and ossifies, we'll see Bitcoin ossify. There won't be any more of these taproot situations or these kind of tweaks and tinkering moments. That's probably going to stop or not be needed anymore. And it probably will happen in the next 3 to 5 years, guys. So yeah, Taproot, hooray.
Hooray. Anything to add, Bobby, or should we move on?
We can move on.
All right, so I thought this was pretty interesting. Bitcoin performance since the halving, May 24, 2021. BTC up 349%, S&P 43%, and poor Peter Schiff is up 10%. So, in hindsight, right? Like, I know this was a crash, and I took a big hit, right? Like 7-figure hit, okay? And I'm sure Jason took like a 10-figure, 9-figure hit, but like if I really being honest, looking at my portfolio, I'm still way up from 2020, right? So like even this decline was tremendous. I'm still grateful. I'm still okay. So what do you guys think about that?
So you know what? A little bit. Some of these Bitcoin people, they're tweeting this type of stuff, and it kind of annoys me because it's like they don't want to accept the fact that we just got our ass kicked, and we just got our ass kicked the last 5 days. Now listen, we were doing a whole bunch of ass kicking for about 11 months in a row or whatever. But then sometimes you take an ass whooping, and it's okay to say, "Wow, that wasn't so good." The last 5 days they suck. Now we had about 11 months of good days, and I'm sure there's many more ahead. But that wasn't fun.
Yeah, it really felt like getting punched in the face. How about you, Jason? How did you cope with on paper losing $100 million?
Yeah, not far off. Look, this is par for the course. I'm telling you, and this happens. This is like I've just seen it before, and the really good traders, and I'm not a trader, I'm a long-term holder. They crushed it here. They got to 64,000. We had a whale sell like 1,000 Bitcoin or something like that at 58,000, 53,000, bought back in at 37,000, picked up 500 Bitcoin or something. Some massive swing here. These guys can do that kind of stuff. It's not my game, but we're going to see these kind of corrections on the way up to, and I think Bobby said, he's saying 200,000 this year. I think that's a legitimate call.
Well, so I have a question for that on Jason and Bob. If you guys, one of the things that Michael Saylor said when he was on our podcast is that the volatility would be tampered down by people like, say, MicroStrategy buying in, because those 100,000 or so Bitcoin, they're just not going to move, right? Whereas, there was a retail investor in 2017 and they bought and they sold, but we didn't see the volatility go away. In the last week, we've seen the same volatility. And I think to what all those charts are saying is it has been the retail investor who has been selling because they got nervous. At any point, are we going to expect that volatility to go away? Because we didn't see it, in this $40,000 to $60,000 range. What do you guys think about that?
So volatility, here's the issue. Volatility is not just about who holds it. It's a combined, I think there's two factors. Number one is today Bitcoin's around $1 trillion, 700 billion, 1 trillion, right? When Bitcoin gets to 100 trillion, that's when things will stable down. Okay, this might take 5, 10. Oh, yeah. This might take 5, 10 years. It might take 15, 20 years, but it's going to get there. It's going to get there. You know what's going to help me get there is if the U.S. continues to print as much money as it has.
That'll help.
Yeah, right. So Bobby's throwing a big number here. So let me put this in.
100 trillion. Really
11 trillion is the market cap of gold, and 100 trillion is like 1% of the money supply. Bobby, is that right?
No, it's more than that. Really? So 100 trillion will rank it in all the global asset classes. So think about real estate. So think about the house, the apartment, the condo you live in. Right, the building, how much that costs. Think about all the housing in San Francisco, all the housing in New York City, hundreds of millions or billions of dollars. And then you take all the cities and all the land and all the building all over the world. So if you take all the real estate in all of the world, that's in the several $100 trillion, probably 200 trillion more. Same with the stock market. You take every stock on the New York Stock Exchange, every stock on NASDAQ. You take every stock on the London Stock Exchange, in the Paris Stock Exchange, in the Shanghai Stock Exchange, in the Singapore Stock Exchange. You take it all together, that's also in the hundreds of trillions of dollars, okay? So I think Bitcoin can easily be in that league. Maybe 100 trillion is where we're at today. Don't forget, by the time Bitcoin gets to 100 trillion in 10, 15 years, gold will no longer stay at 10 trillion. Gold is at 11 trillion right now. It was barely at 7 trillion a few years ago. So my point is gold will go up itself. Gold will go up to 10 trillion, 20 trillion, 30 trillion, 50 trillion. Maybe gold will also reach 100 trillion.
Really?
That's an interesting thesis.
It's not really hard if they print the money.
You're saying the total money supply will go up. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's no stopping and there's no slowing down, by the way. All the countries are in a hint. You don't know this. 2021, all the countries are in a secret race to print as much money as they can because they don't want to be overvalued compared to the other currencies.
Wow.
Right? The dollar has been winning the race so far. It's been weakening the most. Right. Yeah. And the printing press in China, I have firsthand information from someone who works in the printing press in China. It was running full time pretty much through Chinese New Year. Every Chinese New Year, these people the factory workers can go home for Chinese New Year. But this past Chinese New Year, they could only go home for like 3 days instead of 7 days because they had to run the press that keep printing the money.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And it's every country.
Yeah, Bobby, you have a unique perspective on gold. I actually don't agree with that and think that, gold is going to be shorted into an industrial metal, probably worth, $16, $20 an ounce, and it'll be
wow.
Yeah, because it's just going to be shorted.
Can you sell me some puts on that, on your gold?
Bobby, I'll sell you gold right now if you want to take it.
At $16, I'll take it. I'll buy some.
Hey, I got a gold Rolex here. Take it, please.
All right, Jason, time out. Bobby, make a case for gold. Why you're still believing in
gold? $30 trillion asset.
So two things. So gold, I like gold. I buy gold every year. And this is a true statement. Every year I make money, I buy gold. Now, it turns out my Bitcoin has gone up in value a lot. So my Bitcoin stash is worth more than my gold stash. But I do buy gold every year. I add to my stash. I'm going to give it to one of my kids and grandkids. And for me, it's just fun to have some gold. It's just hodling gold. Why not? If I have the resources, I buy it. It's a rainy day kind of thing. So if you guys want to sell me gold for $50, I'll buy it for $50 an ounce. Yeah. Right now it's trading at over, what is it, $1,800 an ounce? Yeah, almost $1,900 an ounce. It's gone up a lot over the years.
Okay, so Jason,
that's fine.
Jason, I've never seen you so uncomfortable on this podcast. Hold on, Jason, hold on. your face is like getting crunched up like an Asian.
Contorted.
And like, I need to know why. Make your case for why you think gold is just going to be an industrial metal.
I thought
It
we
is
were
already industrial
interviewing
metal.
Bobby. I thought we were interviewing Bobby Lee, not Peter Schiff here today. So that's it, man. You know how I feel about the Schiff, man.
Just to be clear, I'm not Peter Schiff. I still like
Peter
Bitcoin more than
Schiff?
I like gold.
Yeah, that's good. Gold's going to zero. And look, that's just my opinion. He says 20, 30 trillion. I'm saying it's going to industrial metal. It'll look like silver. Actually, silver will do better.
Wow.
I got some silver. All right. So let's just chill. Hey, Jason, you need to calm down, bro. This is our guest over here. This is not Peter Schiff.
I never met
Stop
him.
calling Bobby Peter Schiff. Bobby's an OG Bitcoin guy. Okay.
Bobby Peter Schiff Lee. People didn't know that was his name, but that's his name. He loves gold. He wants to give gold to his grandchildren.
You got to insert Bitcoin in this. Bobby Peter Bitcoin Schiff Lee.
I got it. Okay, fair point.
So Bobby, I know you've been in this space for a very long time. What is one advice you can give? Because there's a lot of listeners that we have. They're MMA fighters, they're wrestlers, some, just regular people. What would be the best advice they can give to them when it comes to Bitcoin? Not gold, just Bitcoin. Okay, Peter?
Here's my analogy for regular people. I love talking to everyday people. My book is for everyday people, The Promise of Bitcoin. Read it, get it from Amazon. So money, it's